In the 1800s, much of the northwest part of Iowa looked like this, an area of wetlands believed caused by glaciers thousands of years ago.
And they came down and they kind of went forward and then they'd pull back, and they did that for a number of years.
This is what some earlier Iowa settlers found, what was left by the glaciers.
And it left behind this area of pretty flat, not very well drained, lots of wetlands.
Lots of water was an issue for the earliest settlers like Dwayne Sant's dad, who farmed east of Bancroft.
Yeah, there was a time when they could have used a boat. If they did or not, I don't know, come from the farm to come into town.
Iowa became a state in 1846, but it was in 1851 when most of the counties were created, including one between Minnesota and Kossuth County called Bancroft County.
In 1851, the western part of the state, the counties were established by the legislature. There was 50 counties in existence at that time.
Richard Sheik is the retired county engineer here. He spent a lot of time studying the history of Kossuth County.
And they finished plotting out all the counties in the state, so it ended up with a total of 100 counties. And Bancroft was one of those counties.
Back in 1851, when Bancroft County was formed, hardly anybody lived here. The reason? It was covered with swamps and marshes. That led some leaders in nearby Algona to conclude a vacant swamp area would never be a viable county.
Judge Call from Algona went to the state legislature in 1855 and petitioned the legislature to enlarge the boundaries of Kossuth County, and that included all of Bancroft County and 2 townships in Humboldt County.
The legislature agreed to the request, and Bancroft County was no more as Kossuth County grew. A few years later, there was another attempt to form a new county to the north.
After the Civil War, there were several veterans that settled in the north end of the county. They petitioned the state legislature to establish a new county called Crocker County. And Crocker was a general in the Civil War from Iowa.
Again, Algona leaders intervened, this time in court on grounds Crocker County did not have 12 townships as specified by the Iowa Constitution to form a new county.
There was at one time 100 counties, and then after they was blotted out, Kossuth County wanted to remain. That made them the largest county in the state, and they wanted to retain that honor, more or less, of being able to say they were the largest county.
Then as more and more settlers came to this region, modern technology figured out how to drain the land using some large equipment. Drainage tiles were made in the area, and that meant more farmers could develop what is now some of the best farmland anywhere.
Had a lot of sloughs that have been since drained now.
At the Union Slough National Wildlife Refuge near Bancroft, you can still get a feel for what it was like 150 years ago in Iowa.
Really wet, lots of tall grass, no roads, hard to get around with vehicles.
As the swampland receded, more and more towns formed here.
They tried to drain the refuge. They ran a dredge through the middle and created a ditch. It silted in relatively quickly and didn't work very well. That would have been in the 19-teens, roughly. And in the 1930s, they came up with the idea maybe we should make this a refuge and stop fighting it. And that's what they did.
Now Iowa's largest county even has a county map made of bricks outside the courthouse, a visual legacy of the story of Iowa and its now 99 counties. In Kossuth County, Roger Riley, Channel 13 News.